Hey mathematicians, Miss Johnson. Today we're going to be talking about scale and how you scale items. No, not the scale that you get on when you need to know how much you weigh, or not when you scale a mountain. We're talking about comparing two units of measure and when we use scales. So we use a scale on a blueprint. So if you ever go look for an apartment or you're going to buy a house, they're going to show you a blueprint. They're going to show you a model of what the place looks like. And on this blueprint, we have a scale right there. It says that 1/4 inch, so the little two lines right there, that stands for inches, equals 1 foot. The little one line, that means foot. Okay, so 1/4 inch on this blueprint will be equal to 1 foot in real life. Okay, so you could actually take a ruler and measure, like let's say the length of the living room, see how many inches it is, and then change it to feet. So you can see, okay, well, how many feet long would that living room be? We can also tell from the blueprint, like that this bedroom over here is just a little bit bigger, a little bit longer than this bedroom over here. The kitchen is about the same size as this bedroom right here. So the blueprint allows you to see in a smaller picture without actually having to go and see the apartment, the comparison size, right? So that's something that scales allow us to do, and using a scale allows us to do. Scaling and scales are used in a lot of different places. Like they use a scale to scale down toys, right? So this represents a Corvette, and they used a scale to shrink it down so that, we could have a little toy to play with. Have you ever seen a dollhouse with the miniature furniture? It's so cute, right? Well, here's the scale right here for this miniature furniture, right? So it says 1 to 24. So 1 centimeter on this little bitty piece of furniture will equal 24 centimeters on a real chair or a real table. Okay, so that's what the scale means. It allows us to compare something little to big, big to little. But it also does something little to big. Like we can't see ourselves, right? So a lot of times what we see in a book or in a magazine or something when they're trying to explain it is a model. They take it, something real little, and they blow it up and they make it big, like this picture right here. Scales are used a lot on maps. So here's a map of Galveston. It was taken from the almanac, and the scale for the map is right here down at the bottom, saying the length of that line is 8 miles. So we could take a piece of paper or something and we could measure that and we could bring it up and say, okay, well then that means that's about 8 miles, right? I don't think that's the same length, but you get the idea, right? Okay. Many times though, on the maps, they actually give you the scale and they do it with a picture, and then they say above, like this one says 1 inch represents approximately 31 miles. And you can see from the ruler being right there that there's an inch. And yeah, we could see that's about 31 miles, maybe a little bit more than 31 miles, right? So it's just an approximation. And so you could actually take a ruler and measure, like I did here. I actually measured from downtown Houston straight down to Galveston, right? So it would be about right there. And you could actually count and see that that's 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sixteenths. So we could use that 1 and 7 sixteenths inches, and we could figure out approximately how many miles it is from Houston to Galveston using this scale that they told us it was going to be. Now the scales are based on how big the map is, right? So this one, they zoomed in so we can get a closer look at Galveston, and the scale is different. See, this scale doesn't even go to an inch. The 1/2 inch is right here. It doesn't even go to a whole inch, but look how much smaller the miles are, right? So for this one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's not even exactly on 10. It's between 10 and 11/16 is 3 miles, right? So the scales are different depending on how zoomed in the map is or how far away the map is. The scale will change. So when you're doing word problems and things with this, they will always give you the scale. They'll tell you 10/16 inches equals 3 miles. They'll actually tell you what the scale is and ask you to figure out other information. Okay, so we could use that to figure out how long seawall is. There's seawall right there, right? So we could, not seawall, we could use it to figure out how long 61st Street is, how many miles long 61st Street is using that scale right there. Okay, so that's what scales are. They're just used to compare distances a lot of times, like with maps or making something big and making it small. That's some different ways that we use scale.